Today I'm going to show you this really simple, easy party makeup. As always, everything I've used is listed in the description, but by all means, please feel free to substitute these steps with whatever you've already got at home. To save some time before I started filming, I've already got my skincare on. So I've started with Sali Hughes' Cream Drench. This is a lovely, rich moisturiser, and my skin is so dry at the moment, so it's the perfect kind of cushioning between the dry skin and then putting makeup on. And I've got some of the Indeed Labs Hydraluron lip balm on. This is one of those things that I use throughout the day, all day, and I don't think I've ever even mentioned in a video, but these are fantastic. And since I was last speaking to you, Hannah Martin has made her own professional brush collection with Ciate. She's essentially taken all of her artistry expertise and made a brush collection that will give you absolutely everything you need in one kit. I was looking at everything I chose today actually, and I did it by accident. I haven't had a chance to do a long video in a little while, so I was picking out things I really wanted to use, and in front of me I've got like Sali, Hannah, Lisa Eldridge, who was the other one? Sculpted by Aimee, and I thought, without realising, I've picked all of these girls that I really love. But anyway, I'm going to show you the new CC Nude Glow now. This is coming in February from It Cosmetics, and if you know how I usually use the original CC creams, they're really full coverage. This is more of a fresh, lightweight alternative, and I want to apply this with my hands today. I had a really lovely comment from someone a while ago, and she just said, whatever I'd applied, I used my hands, and she said, I'm so glad to see you. I'm just going to pick it up bit by bit, by the way. So glad to see you using your hands, because I like to use my hands, and if I see that loads of brushes are needed, I just think it's a faff and it puts me off. And so I'm just going to make an effort to remember to use my hands a bit more, because to be honest, there are so many things, and I would consider the CC Nude Glow to be one of them, that look beautiful when you use your hands. There's also things that tend to be better with a brush. So for example, if I'm thinking of It Cosmetics, the Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer is so densely pigmented that I would personally always recommend to use a brush with that, because a brush helps to soften it down and give it more of a fresh finish. Whereas if you were to just use your hands, it can actually look really, really pigmented and quite full. Whereas the brush can help to give you a softer finish. But with lots of things, actually your hands are great. And there are brands, for example, like NARS or Laura Mercier, where they have actually designed the products with the intention that you will use your hands with them to get the best results. So I know I'm always talking about brushes, but whether you have brushes or not, you can achieve great makeup. It's just really a case of understanding what kind of finish that you'd like that can help you to choose whether it's right to use a brush or not. So there's the CC Nude Glow. This is a multi-hybrid again of makeup, skincare, SPF, perfect for a fresh wash of colour. But as you can see, with me having a lot of redness, what I want is to keep the freshness everywhere but add a little bit of coverage where I need it. So instead of using kind of a full coverage foundation all over, I'm going to add a little bit more coverage with one of the Bobbi Brown concealer sticks. Now, a lot of my redness at the moment is kind of focused towards the centre of the face. So I'm just going to stripe this on and start to pat into these areas, and then we'll see how we go from here. This is one of my favourite things to do, because it gives the illusion that you've hardly got anything on, but you've secretly packed quite a bit of coverage in those little areas. Lisa Eldridge did this video on her YouTube that if you haven't seen already, I would really recommend watching. And it was all about what she described as a patchwork technique. And essentially her patchwork technique was all about being really considered with where each product goes, so that you don't have everything everywhere, but you just put what you need where you need it, and as a result you get a much fresher base. Now, using the highlight brush from Hannah's collection, I'm just going to use a bit of Sculpted by Aimee's Velvet Veil. This is the loose version, but she has made, which is in my handbag, which is why it isn't here, a tiny compact of a pressed powder, and it's just such a good size for your bag because it's not so big that you've got like a really full clunky thing to carry around, but it's not so small that you feel like nothing's coming out. So I will show you that one as well, but essentially it's the same kind of formula, just in either a loose or pressed or a different compact. But lovely, as you can see, for taking down kind of the excess shine and just helping to lock everything into place. Using the same brush, just nice and small, I'm going to gently take some bronzer through the highs of the cheeks, along the hairline and down the nose. Next, I'm going to focus on my eyes, and Beauty Pie have done this collaboration with Patti Dubroff. Comes in a beautiful bag, a curated edit of kind of a party look, and there's this eyeshadow palette in here. Now these kinds of taupey colours are perfect for this time of year, but to frame them, I'm going to start with the same bronzing powder just through the socket of my eye. What I love about doing this is that it really pulls the whole look together, but it also gives you a bit of a deadline for how high you're going to take your shadows, and you kind of mark out your comfort zones in a soft wash of colour before you go in hell for leather with your shimmers and glitters and things like that. Now I'm going to start with this kind of taupey colour, and sometimes with shimmers it's actually better to use your ring finger, not only to get a more dense colour payoff, but to prevent drop down, because if you've really densely packed that on, it's less likely to flake like it would with a looser brush. It can be a bit difficult with your ring finger to get right into every little nook and cranny. So if you struggle, you can go back in afterwards and use a small brush. Now I'm going to soften the edge of that with the blending brush that I used to put the bronzer on. Use a pencil brush to trace the same colour on the lower lash line, and then with a slightly smaller brush I'm going to add some of that chocolate brown just kind of in the outer corners of this eye makeup to give it a little bit more depth. I can't actually remember what I was saying, I'm so distracted. It's snowed and I recently adopted a second cat. The vet thinks he's only about 2, but I've never seen him experience snow, and I overlook my garden. When I tell you that this boy is absolutely delighted with himself, it's actually lovely to watch. But God knows what I was saying to you, so I'm just going to carry on and take some of this shimmery colour on the inner corners of the eyes and try and remember what we were talking about. I know this might look quite strong at first, but by the time I've got all of my other layers on, that will actually kind of settle down and feel lovely. I hope. Now I'm going to finish with lots of mascara. This is the new Pro XXL Lift from L'Oreal. And I always like to look down into a mirror when I do my mascara, because it means you can get the brush right to the root of the lashes, and it just gives you a much more jet black intense colour payoff. Now, one of the things in Patti Dubroff's Beauty Pie collab, which was also in her previous one, and it is one of the nicest things I've ever seen, she does these tiny highlighter sticks. This one is the shade Glazy Light, and I remember when she did a collection with them before, this was one of the things that I use so much, because I don't really know anyone that has a creamy highlighter as small as this. And what it means is, if you like the idea of highlighter but you want quite a lot of control, or you don't want it all over your face but you just want to take it at a really kind of soft pace, this is absolutely perfect for that. So in particular, let's say if you've got maybe areas of fine lines but you still want some highlighter, maybe the cheekbones for example, you can be really considered with where it lands and it will still catch the light really beautifully. Now I'm going to run some of the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt through my eyebrows. What I would say to you, really good tip for kind of holiday makeup, party makeup, your eyebrows can really set the tone for the entire makeup. So what I mean is, if you don't have time and you've gone really simple and maybe just like your everyday base, mascara, lippy, sharpening up your brows a little bit can honestly make the whole thing feel lots more polished. And in the same breath, if you feel like something is a bit stronger than you'd usually feel comfortable in, going for a really soft eyebrow will instantly give the illusion that the whole thing is just a bit more natural. So keep that in mind, and it might even be worth, like I've done here, saving the brows till near the end so that you know what you want to dial up or take down a bit. Now then, for lips, I'm going to use Lisa Eldridge's Intrigue liner. That Sweed pencil sharpener is probably my most used product of the year above anything else. I never, even if I'm packing an away bag, that is always with me. I love it. Lisa Eldridge Intrigue, I feel like this is the perfect middle ground between Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk and Pink Venus. I love it. And I'm actually going to leave that as it is and just put some of my lip balm on top of it because I really like that colour all over. And there we have a really simple party makeup. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. And if there's anything in particular you'd like to see a video on, feel free to let me know here in the comments. In particular for this time of year, are there things that you're looking to experiment with or get really right before your night out? Whatever it is, I'm really happy to help. But take care, and I'll chat to you very soon.